Hey everybody, we're going to do the warm-up here. Your task is to write the square class. It's a child of the rectangle class. Let's take a look at the rectangle class. It can almost fit in one window here, but not quite. We've got a side1 and a side2 variable. They're ints. When you create a rectangle, you send over two integers and it sets them to that. You can get the area of a rectangle. It just returns side1 times side2. You can get side1 and get side2 if you want to get access to those variables. And then it has a toString which prints out, I'm going to run this, it prints out a nice little thing that tells you the sides and the area. Cool. Okay, so we were supposed to create a square class that extends the rectangle class. A square doesn't have any of its own private variables, and it accepts one int for the side length, and it uses a super call. So let's do this. This is not a big deal. Class square extends rectangle, right? And we don't have any private variables, but we're going to have a constructor, public square int side. I'm going to call it side because both sides are the same. And we're going to call super with side twice. Check that out. That calls rectangle and puts the side variable in for both variables. And so then both variables get set to this one value side. That's pretty nifty. And then, and in fact, we can run this. Let's make a new square. Square s equals new square. Send over 5 and system.out.println. So it'll already run just with that tiny bit of code. It's just going to say it's a rectangle. I'm having a sip of my tea while we wait. There we go. So I don't want it to print quite like that. I want it to say square with 5 centimeter sides and 25 centimeter square centimeter area. So, so we have to add a toString. I'm just going to copy the rectangle toString because it's almost the same, but not quite. But we'll, we don't have to type everything all over again. So let's say square with, now we don't have access to side 1 and side 2 here in the square class because there are private variables in the rectangle. So, but we do have, the rectangle has a get side 1 and get side 2, methods. So we can, so let's just use the method get side 1. So square with, that's in quotes right here. And then plus get side 1. We're calling the method in the parent. Well, we'll get, you could do side 2 if you prefer, but they're the same, right? So we only needed to get one of them. Centimeter sides and get area square centimeter area. So that ought to do it. Let's just change those things. Because we were, the rectangle toString is printing out, both lengths, and we only want one length for the square. Square with 5 centimeter sides. Yeah, so that's good. And then I asked you to create a square with your street address as the side length or some other number that's not 5, and then to print it. So the 5's fine. I mean, you can either replace this. My street address is 8245. I just want you to create a square and print it and not have it be the 5 one. Yeah, that's a lot of area. We'll just trust that that's true. But there you go. That's the warm up.